All right, so are you ready to get our glow on today? We're diving deep into the world of skincare, specifically microchanneling and microneedling.
Two treatments that are honestly super popular right now.
They can sound kind of intimidating, you
Yeah,
know?
with all those little needles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But by the end of this deep dive, you'll be a mini expert, I promise.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Our source material today is a fantastic article in Spavelous magazine, which is, a really great publication that focuses on all things wellness and health.
Really reliable advice.
Exactly. So, you can trust the info that we're giving you.
Definitely.
And so let's get started.
Let's do it.
Both of these treatments that we're talking about today really revolve around collagen, which, as we all know, is that magical protein that keeps us looking youthful.
Yeah. And as we age, our collagen production slows down.
Sad.
Yeah, I know. And that leads to, wrinkles and sagging.
This we don't want.
Exactly the things we're trying to combat. One of the treatments we'll be looking at today is microneedling, which uses tiny needles to create micro-injuries in the skin.
Okay, wait, hold on. Micro-injuries, that sounds kind of scary.
I know it might sound a little alarming, but they're actually very controlled, and they trigger the skin's natural healing response.
It's like you're tricking your skin into thinking it needs to heal itself.
Exactly. And in doing so, it produces more collagen and elastin, which are the proteins that give skin its structure and its elasticity.
Okay, that's clever.
Yeah. And then we have microchanneling, which takes that concept, but it goes a step further. Instead of using needles, it uses these fine wire filaments to create tiny microchannels in the skin.
So it's even more precise.
Way more precise and targeted.
Okay, I'm starting to see why maybe people say that microchanneling has a faster recovery time.
That's one of the reasons, because those microchannels are so tiny and the treatment is less invasive, your skin bounces back faster.
Makes sense.
And get this, you can actually combine microchanneling with other energy-based treatments like radiofrequency.
Oh, like those devices that tighten skin.
Yes, exactly.
How does that work?
So the radiofrequency waves, they travel through the microchannels and deliver heat energy to the deeper layers of the skin.
No.
So it stimulates collagen production even more, and it tightens and firms the skin from the inside out.
So it's like a double whammy.
Exactly, double dose of rejuvenation.
Okay, so the Spavelous article we were talking about has this awesome comparison table for both treatments.
Oh, it's super helpful.
What are some of the main takeaways?
One of the main differences is the depth that the treatments go to. So microneedling needles, they typically penetrate deeper into the skin.
Okay.
And microchanneling stays more on the surface.
So if you have sensitive skin, maybe microchanneling is better.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, what about cost? Because I know that's a big one.
Yeah, well, microneedling usually has a lower cost per session,
Okay.
but you might need more sessions to actually achieve the results that you want.
So you're saying that potentially microchanneling could end up being more cost-effective in the long run.
Exactly, because you might not need as many treatments to reach your goals.
So it's really about, thinking long-term.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just about the price tag of that one session.
Right. You got to think about the big picture.
Exactly. It's like when you think you're getting a deal on a budget airline ticket.
Right.
And then all the add-ons and baggage fees and all that stuff ends up making it more expensive.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more visual. I mean, we're talking about tiny needles and filaments.
Yeah.
But what does it actually look like?
So with microneedling, it often involves this device with a roller, and it's covered in fine needles.
I've seen those.
Yeah, and they gently move that across the skin, creating those micro-injuries.
Okay.
Some people say it feels prickly. Other people say it feels like light sandpaper.
Okay, so I can picture that.
Yeah.
What about microchannel?
So microchanneling often uses a pen-like device, and it has a little cartridge tip with those teeny tiny wire filaments in it.
Okay.
And it's more like a stamp. They gently press it onto the skin.
Oh, interesting.
And that creates those precise microchannels.
Not rolling like the microneedling.
Exactly. More of a stamping technique.
Got it. And those filaments, they're not actually needles. They're just like tiny wires.
Super fine wires, like thinner than a human hair.
Wow.
And they just create those microscopic channels in the skin.
Okay, so that allows for the serums to get in there.
Exactly. More targeted delivery.
Speaking of serums, isn't that another key difference between the two treatments?
Yes, definitely.
I feel like I've heard that microchanneling is used with those specialized serums more often.
Yeah, you're right, because those channels act as pathways for potent serums to get deeper into the skin.
Oh, so it's like a direct delivery system.
Exactly. You're boosting absorption and
Yeah.
maximizing the effectiveness of all those good ingredients.
So we're talking serums with like antioxidants and growth factors and maybe even stem cells.
Yes, exactly. And they're often customized to address very specific skin concerns.
So it's like a double whammy. You're getting the collagen boost, and then you're also getting these powerful serums.
It's a 1-2 punch for your skin.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's why I feel like I'm hearing more and more about microchanneling.
absolutely. It's more of a comprehensive approach to rejuvenation because it addresses multiple concerns at the same time.
Okay, I'm curious about those serums. Are they specifically formulated for microchanneling?
Some are, but some can be adapted.
Whoa.
The key is to choose serums that are lightweight and absorb easily. You don't want to clog those little microchannels.
That makes sense. So what kind of ingredients should people look for in a serum?
Well, it depends on your goals, right?
Right.
So, for example, if you want to reduce hyperpigmentation, you might opt for a serum with vitamin C or niacinamide in it.
Okay.
And if anti-aging is your goal, then, a serum with peptides or retinol would be beneficial.
So you really need to know what you want to get out of it. And I'm assuming you'd want to talk to a skincare professional about this.
Absolutely. They can assess your skin type and your concerns and your goals, and then recommend the best serum for you.
It sounds like they really create a customized cocktail for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about serums for microchanneling. What about microneedling?
Well, it can be performed without serums, but more and more often they're including them.
Okay.
But usually the serums that they choose are more for hydration and soothing because, you have those micro injuries.
Right.
So it's more about just calming the skin after the needling.
Okay, so less targeted and more just overall nourishing.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think we have a pretty good grasp on the basics now. We've got micro injuries versus microchannels.
Yeah.
We've got needles versus filaments.
Deeper penetration versus superficial.
And, the whole serum thing.
Exactly.
So now let's get into the nitty-gritty.
All right, let's do it.
What benefits are people actually seeing with each treatment?
Well, let's start with microneedling. It's really effective for reducing fine lines and wrinkles and acne scars and even stretch marks.
So it's pretty versatile.
Very versatile, yeah.
What about microchanneling?
So microchanneling really excels in refining that skin texture and improving tone and radiance and minimizing pores.
Okay, those are all good things.
Yes, and it can even help with hyperpigmentation and hair loss.
Wait, hold on, hair loss?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How does that work?
Well, it seems like it can stimulate blood flow to the scalp, which helps to nourish the hair follicles, and then that promotes hair growth.
So it's like you're waking up the hair follicles.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like both treatments have their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it really depends what you want to get out of it.
Right, so you really need to talk to a professional and figure out which one is right for you.
Absolutely, because they can assess your skin and your concerns, and then they can recommend the best treatment.
They're like skincare detectives.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so before we move on, I do want to talk about recovery time because I know that's on everyone's mind.
Oh, for sure, especially these days.
Right, everyone is so busy.
So with microneedling, it really depends on the depth of the treatment.
Okay.
But you might experience some redness and swelling and maybe a little bit of pinpoint bleeding right after the procedure.
So how long does it take to heal?
Well, the redness and swelling usually subside within a few days, but full healing could take a week or more.
Okay, so there is some downtime.
There is a little bit, yeah.
What about microchanneling?
So because it's less invasive, the recovery time is much shorter.
Music to my ears.
Yeah, you might have some redness or tingling right after, but it usually fades within a few hours.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, much less downtime.
But I'm assuming there's still some aftercare involved.
Oh, yeah, for sure. After either treatment, you want to protect your skin from the sun and avoid harsh products and keep the area clean and moisturized.
Those are good rules in general.
Definitely.
Okay, one last thing before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
What about safety? Are there any risks or side effects that people should be aware of?
So with microneedling, the most common side effects are, the redness and the swelling and the bleeding that we talked about.
Right, and that's usually temporary.
Exactly. But there's a small risk of infection or scarring or,
Yeah.
that hypopigmentation.
So it's really important to choose a reputable provider.
Oh, absolutely. And to follow their instructions for aftercare.
What about microchanneling?
Well, because it's less invasive, the risks are usually lower.
Okay.
But you can still have some redness or swelling or irritation, especially if you have sensitive skin.
So the bottom line is, regardless of which treatment you're considering,
Talk to a professional.
yes, always talk to a professional.
They can assess your skin and your health history and make sure that the treatment's right for you.
And that's really important.
Absolutely.
This has been so informative. I feel like we've covered so much already.
I know we have.
But we're just getting started.
Oh.
In the next part of our deep dive, We're going to go even deeper into the world of microchanneling.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to be looking at the specific applications for different skin concerns.
Hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, acne scars, you name it.
And we're even going to be talking about hair loss and some of the cutting-edge advancements in microchanneling technology.
The future is bright.
It is, so stay tuned.
Yes, please do.
Welcome back. I'm still geeking out about everything we talked about, with microneedling and microchanneling.
Yeah, it's so cool. All this new stuff in skincare.
Right. And now we're going even deeper into microchanneling. Those precise treatments with the tiny wire filaments.
Yeah, so both microneedling and microchanneling use the skin's natural healing power, but microchanneling really kicks it up a notch.
Okay, I like that.
Remember those microchannels?
Yeah.
They're not just stimulating collagen, but they're also creating these pathways for the serums to get deep into the skin.
Right, like little delivery trucks.
Exactly.
Taking all the good stuff right where it needs to go. I remember reading in that Spavelous article that a study found microchanneling can boost skin absorption by like 300%.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's wild.
It's pretty amazing. And it's why microchanneling is so good at dealing with certain skin concerns.
Okay, so let's talk about hyperpigmentation.
Yes.
Those dark spots and uneven skin tone that a lot of people struggle with.
Oh, yeah.
Sunscreen is my best friend, but I still get those spots sometimes.
I know, it's tough. So traditionally, treatments for hyperpigmentation involved topical creams or lasers.
Right.
Which can work, but they can also have some downsides, like, downtime or side effects.
Right.
Microchanneling is different because those microchannels are infused with serums that are specifically designed to brighten and even out the skin tone, so you're targeting those areas more directly.
It's like a double attack.
Exactly. You're stimulating the skin's natural renewal with the microchannels, and you're delivering brightening ingredients right where they're needed.
So cool. Okay, what about those exosomes I've heard about?
Oh, yeah.
What are those?
Think of them like tiny messengers in our cells.
Okay.
They carry information and signals that regulate all kinds of processes, including skin healing and rejuvenation.
Okay.
So in microchanneling, they're using exosomes that are derived from stem cells, and they're putting them into the serums.
Okay.
And they can potentially speed up healing and reduce inflammation and promote a more even skin tone.
So it's like a turbo boost.
It is. It's like you're adding rocket fuel to the whole thing.
That's awesome. Okay, so we talked about hyperpigmentation. Let's talk about wrinkles.
Oh, yes.
Because I know that's another big one. Those fine lines and wrinkles that people want to get rid of?
Yeah. So the great thing about microchanneling is that it can handle different types of wrinkles.
Oh.
Whether it's fine lines or deeper wrinkles or even, those creepy wrinkles you can get on your neck and chest.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach?
No, definitely not. And it's important to adjust the treatment based on the type of wrinkles and where they are.
Okay, that makes sense.
For example, if you have fine lines around your eyes or your mouth, they might use a more superficial treatment with a serum that has hyaluronic acid in it.
Hyaluronic acid that's in a lot of moisturizers, right?
Yeah, it's a humectant, which means it attracts and holds moisture.
Okay.
So it keeps the skin hydrated and plump. And when it's used in a microchanneling serum, it can go really deep into the skin.
Oh.
And it can make it look smoother and younger.
So it's like a super moisturizer.
Exactly.
Okay, what about the deeper wrinkles, the ones that just won't go away?
For those, they might use a more intense treatment with a device that has longer filaments so they can go deeper.
And they'd probably use different serums too, right?
Yeah, probably ones with retinol or peptides or growth factors because they boost collagen production and tighten the skin.
Okay, so it's like hyaluronic acid for fine lines.
Yeah.
And then retinol or peptides or growth factors for the deeper ones.
That's the idea.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about hyperpigmentation and wrinkles. What about acne scars?
Oh, yes. Those can be tough.
I know a lot of people struggle with them even after the acne is gone.
I know they can really affect people's confidence, but microchanneling can actually help with that.
Really?
Yeah, it works by breaking down the scar tissue, and then it stimulates new collagen to grow, which smooths out the skin.
So it's like giving the skin a fresh start.
Exactly.
I can handle different types of scars too, right?
Yeah, even those ice pick scars, which are super deep and narrow.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so we've got hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, acne scars.
Yeah.
What about hair loss? I remember you mentioned that earlier.
Oh, yeah. So hair loss is a tricky thing. It can be caused by all kinds of stuff like genetics or hormones or even some medical conditions.
Right.
But a lot of times it's because of poor blood circulation to the scalp.
So the hair follicles aren't getting what they need.
Right, they're being starved.
Sad.
I know, and that's where microchanneling comes in.
Okay, how so?
Well, because it stimulates blood flow to the scalp, and it can deliver nourishing serums directly to the hair follicles.
So you're waking up the hair follicles and giving them a boost at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, I've also heard about something called PRP therapy.
Oh, yeah.
How does that work?
So for PRP therapy, they take a small amount of your blood and then they spin it to separate out the platelet-rich plasma.
Okay, and what does that do?
So platelets are those tiny cells that help your blood clot,
Right.
but they're also full of growth factors which can help regenerate cells and repair tissue.
So it's like using your body's own healing power.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does PRP work with microchanneling?
When they're combined, it's like giving the scalp a superdose of those growth factors.
So it can help with hair growth.
Exactly. It can really revitalize those dormant hair follicles.
It's like the dynamic duo of hair restoration.
That's a great way to put it.
This is amazing. Microchanneling is so much more than I thought it was.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of skincare.
It is. It's pretty remarkable how they're using the skin's natural healing ability.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's cool how scientists and skincare professionals are always pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Oh, yeah, always innovating. So, are there any new things happening with microchanneling that we should know about?
Oh, there are always new things in skincare.
I know, right?
One that's really exciting is they're starting to use microchanneling devices that have LED light therapy built in.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about those.
LED light therapy is getting really popular.
Yeah.
So how does that work with microchanneling?
Well, they use specific wavelengths of light to stimulate the cells, and it can do different things depending on the color of the light.
Okay.
So, for example, red light is known for its anti-aging and collagen-boosting properties.
Okay, I've heard that.
And blue light can target bacteria that causes acne.
Oh, wow. So you can really customize it.
Exactly, you're adding another layer of personalization to the treatment.
It's like a skincare symphony.
I like that.
All these different instruments coming together.
Beautiful music for your skin.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I've learned so much about microchanneling.
Yeah, me too.
You know, from the science behind it to all the different things it can do.
Hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, acne, scars, hair loss. It's amazing.
It really is. It's like changing the whole skincare game.
It is. It's really exciting to see how it's evolving.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks to, the power of combining innovation with our body's natural ability to heal.
So true. And as technology keeps advancing and we learn more about how things work, who knows what's next for microneedling?
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. I don't know about you, but I am so ready to book my microchanneling appointment.
Yeah, it sounds like a miracle treatment.
It really does. But before we all run out to the nearest spa,
Yeah.
there are some things we should keep in mind, right?
Absolutely.
First things first, you've got to choose a qualified and experienced provider.
Yes, 100%, because not all microchanneling treatments are the same.
So how do we know who to choose?
Well, first, make sure that they are licensed and certified to perform microchanneling.
Okay, that makes sense.
And look for somebody that has, deep understanding of skin anatomy and physiology.
Right. It's not just about being good with a needle.
Exactly. They need to understand how the treatment works and how to personalize it for you.
And you know what else I always do? I check reviews
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
and before and after photos
Absolutely.
to see what kind of work they've done.
You want to see those results.
And, obviously you should always have a consultation
Oh, yeah, for sure.
before you just jump into anything.
Definitely. So during the consultation, they should look at your skin, what type it is, what concerns you have, what you're hoping to achieve.
And they should ask about your medical history too, right?
Yes, absolutely. And any medications you're taking to make sure there are no contraindications.
Right. So it's like a personalized skincare assessment.
Exactly. They're making sure microchanneling is right for you.
And speaking of personalized approaches, we talked about serums.
Yeah.
Those microchannels are like those little highways for ingredients.
Little delivery systems.
How do you know which ones to use?
Well, that's where your provider's expertise comes in.
Right.
They'll recommend specific serums based on what you need.
Okay, so for example, if you're worried about fine lines and wrinkles.
They might suggest a serum with peptides or growth factors.
Okay, and for hyperpigmentation.
Vitamin C or niacinamide.
Yes, and for acne scars.
Maybe something with ingredients that reduce inflammation and help with cell regeneration.
Okay, so it's like a customized cocktail for your skin.
Exactly.
And the best part is you can change the serums over time.
Oh, yeah, for sure, as your skin changes.
So it's not a one-time thing. It's like an ongoing process.
Exactly. You're working with your provider to create a long-term plan.
This has been so amazing, this whole deep dive into microchanneling.
I know, it's been so much fun.
We've learned so much.
We have.
From the science behind it to the different things it can do and how to choose a provider and the serums.
It's a whole world.
So as we wrap things up, any final thoughts on microchanneling?
Well, I think it's a huge step forward for skincare.
Yeah.
It's safe and effective and so versatile, like we've been saying. You can use it for fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, acne scars, and even hair loss.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember not all treatments are the same.
Right.
You have to do your research.
Yes,
Find a qualified provider, choose the right serums. That's how you're going to get the best results.
absolutely. And, you know, it's not a quick fix.
It's a journey.
You have to be patient and consistent and really committed to taking care of your skin.
And skincare is always evolving.
That's true.
New things are being discovered all the time, so stay informed and always talk to the experts.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of microchanneling. I hope you found it helpful and interesting.
Yeah, it's been so great chatting with you about this.
And remember, beautiful skin is possible for everyone.
Yes, it is.
It's all about finding the right approach and getting expert advice and embracing the journey.
And taking care of yourself.
Exactly. Until next time, keep shining.
Bye, everyone.